Think you know Hollywood? Think again. These 10 stars did more than just reinvent themselves. They rewrote the rules of identity under the spotlight. From red carpets to raw truths, their journeys shocked fans and inspired millions. So if you're ready for stories that break barriers and stir hearts, stay with us. Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and let us know which transformation left you speechless. Let's dive in. When Sonny and Cher welcomed their daughter Chastity into the world in 1969, they had no idea of the emotional journey that lay ahead. Growing up in the glare of the spotlight, Chastity often appeared poised and confident to the public. But behind the scenes, she struggled deeply with her sense of identity. From a young age, despite being raised as a girl, Chastity felt a disconnect, like the feminine role assigned to her simply did not fit. That silent inner conflict haunted her for years, leading to emotional turmoil and a constant sense of not belonging. As she entered adulthood, she tried to conform to expectations, but the unease only grew stronger. It became painfully clear that living as a woman was never truly her path. But the fear of rejection from both her family and society made it nearly impossible to say out loud. For decades, Chastity maintained a public image that satisfied the world's assumptions, all while suffering quietly. It was not until the late 2000s that she made the life-altering decision to transition. Introducing herself to the world as Chaz Bono, the journey was anything but easy. It was filled with uncertainty, fear, and the pain of shedding a past that never felt like home. Even now, looking at old photographs can be difficult for Chaz, as they serve as reminders of years spent in a body that never truly felt like his. At the age of 40, he began major physical transformations, including a mastectomy, which helped him feel more aligned with his identity. Hormone therapy followed, with testosterone treatments that gradually gave him a deeper voice and more masculine features. These changes marked not just a physical evolution, but a rebirth, finally allowing him to step into the world as his authentic self. Beyond his personal transformation, Chaz emerged as a powerful advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, using his platform to uplift others walking similar paths. Like his parents, he pursued a career in entertainment, breaking barriers as the first transgender man to play a male role in a major film. His acting credits include The Secret Life of the American Teenager, The Bold and the Beautiful, and American Horror Story. But while his journey has inspired many, it has also been a difficult one for his mother, Cher. She has openly shared the emotional complexity of accepting Chaz's transition, admitting that adjusting from daughter to son has not been easy. Yet despite her occasional slip-ups with pronouns, her love remains unwavering. Again and again, Cher has expressed how proud she is of Chaz, proud of his strength, his honesty, and above all, his courage to finally live as the person he was always meant to be. So what do you think of Chaz's journey? Has his story touched you in a way you did not expect? Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear your thoughts. Before she became the trailblazing female model known to the world as Andreja Pejić, she was already making waves in the fashion industry, also as Andreja Pejić. Even as a male model, Andreja captivated audiences with her sharp features and striking presence, turning heads on runways while wearing women's clothing with elegance and ease. Her look was unforgettable, her style distinct, and her rise meteoric. But beneath the glitz of fashion shows and magazine covers, Andreja was living a life split in two, polished on the outside, but quietly battling an internal storm. Born in Bosnia and raised in Australia, Andreja grew up feeling like she never quite fit the mold. From a young age, she was drawn to traditionally feminine things, makeup, dress-up sessions with her mother. But those joys came laced with guilt, fear, and a sense of otherness that no one around her seemed to understand. As Andreja entered adolescence, her androgynous beauty only grew more pronounced. It became a signature in the modeling world, something designers loved, but peers did not always accept. She endured bullying, social isolation, and a deepening sense of confusion about who she truly was. But fashion became a safe haven, a place where difference was not only allowed, but applauded. Her face graced campaigns, her name climbed the ranks, but the success never silenced the inner voice telling her that she was not meant to live as a man. The thought of transitioning lingered for years, an idea both liberating and terrifying. Transitioning meant risking her career, her relationships, and the very identity the world had come to admire. Yet in 2014, Andreja made the decision that would change everything. She chose to live as the woman she had always been inside. Andreja's transition was far from simple. It demanded courage, patience, and unshakable honesty. In an interview with Vogue, she shared that the journey involved more than just medical procedures. It required psychological assessments, emotional healing, and a complete redefining of self. And yet, against the odds, Andreja emerged stronger. She did not just survive, she soared. She made history as the first transgender model to grace the cover of GQ Portugal, turning what once felt like a secret into a symbol of empowerment. When she looks back on her younger self, Andreja says she wishes she could tell that confused little child that everything would be okay, that one day she would grow into the powerful, fearless woman she always knew she could be. Her story is not just about gender or beauty or fame. It is a powerful reminder that the bravest thing you can ever be is yourself. If Andreja's journey moved you in any way, let us know in the comments which part of her story resonated with you most. And if you believe the world needs more voices like hers, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to support stories that matter. Caitlyn Jenner's journey from Bruce to Caitlyn is not only a personal transition, it is a powerful symbol of the struggle for acceptance and being true to oneself in modern society. Bruce Jenner was once a sports legend, famous worldwide for winning the gold medal in the decathlon at the Montreal Olympics in 1976. However, behind the spotlight, Caitlyn had to deal with deep and confusing emotions, even for herself. Since childhood, Bruce had been fascinated by her mother's and sister's clothes, a hobby that brought her both joy and confusion. These feelings were difficult to express, especially in a time when gender identity was a taboo subject. To cope with her inner conflict, Bruce poured all her energy into sports, using it as an escape from her complicated thoughts. Success came when he won the Olympic gold medal. But even at the peak of his career, Bruce's pain about his gender identity was always present. In addition to his sports career, Bruce was also known for his roles as a father and husband. However, his first two marriages ended in divorce. During his time living with Linda Thompson, Bruce tried to share his gender identity, but Linda's lack of understanding made him feel even more alone. When he began his relationship with Kris Jenner, Bruce decided to be honest from the beginning, sharing that he had been using hormones for 4 years. However, Kris later denied that she knew about the difficulties Bruce was facing, leading to conflicts in their relationship. Despite the challenges, Bruce and Kris still built a happy family and became stars on the reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Bruce, as the head of the Kardashian-Jenner family, became a beloved figure. But Bruce's decision to transition to Caitlyn came as a huge shock to her family, especially her children. Despite initial surprise, the Jenner and Kardashian families have shown Caitlyn unconditional support and love, demonstrating that family is always a strong support during difficult times. Caitlyn decided to transition at the age of 65, at a time when many people would think of stability. But for her, being true to herself was essential. In 2015, Caitlyn came out to the world through an article in Vanity Fair titled, "Call Me Caitlyn." This moment was not only a turning point in her life, it also opened up a larger conversation about transgender rights, contributing to raising awareness and visibility for the LGBTQ+ community. From a great sports icon, Caitlyn Jenner has become a symbol of freedom, courage, and hope for those who are looking to live their true self. She has proven that change is not just about appearance, but also about liberating the soul and finding true happiness in life. And if you think her story was powerful, just wait until you meet the next name on this list. Their journey might surprise you even more. Laverne Cox is more than just a familiar face on screen. She's a symbol of strength, survival, and transformation in the transgender community. Her breakout role as Sophia Bursett on Orange is the New Black introduced millions to a story rarely shown on television, a transgender woman navigating life behind bars. But long before she became a celebrated actress and advocate, Laverne's life was a series of painful reckonings and brave choices. Born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, a place where gender roles were strictly enforced, she felt different from early childhood. Drawn to her mother's clothes, to makeup, to the freedom of dance, Laverne faced relentless bullying simply because she did not fit the mold. Tap and jazz classes became her outlet, but even that came with limits. Her mother forbade ballet, fearing it was too feminine. Still, Laverne poured her soul into every step, finding brief moments of escape through movement. Yet the emotional weight of hiding her true self grew unbearable. Raised in a conservative religious environment, Laverne was taught to feel shame about her identity. That shame nearly destroyed her, leading her, in deep despair, to attempt suicide at a young age. Thankfully, she survived. That moment of survival became a turning point, a quiet vow that she would no longer live in the shadows. It would take years of internal struggle, but eventually, she found the courage to leave Alabama and move to New York, where she began her transition. The journey was long, marked by obstacles and rejection, but also by small victories that reaffirmed her path. Each act of self-expression became an act of defiance, and each step brought her closer to the woman she was always meant to be. Laverne's casting in Orange is the New Black was more than a career breakthrough. It was a cultural shift. Sophia's character gave voice to real transgender experiences, and Laverne brought her to life with unmatched depth and dignity. But she did not stop there. Off-screen, she emerged as one of the most powerful voices in the LGBTQ+ movement. With every speech, every interview, every social post, she worked to dismantle ignorance and replace it with understanding. Her message, "Trans is beautiful," is both a declaration and an invitation. Today, Laverne Cox is not just a trailblazer. She is a lifeline to those still searching for themselves. And if her story moved you, stay with us, because the next journey might just inspire you even more. Fallon Fox's story is a living testament to courage, determination, and the ability to break barriers in a world that is often slow to accept change. As a pioneer in mixed martial arts, MMA, Fallon's journey has been about more than just fighting in the ring. It's also about defending her identity and paving the way for transgender athletes. Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, Fallon knew from a young age that she was different. She felt more comfortable around girls, but it was difficult to express that in a society where traditional gender norms are strongly enforced. Like many transgender people, Fallon faced confusion about her identity, especially when her parents were not supportive enough. When she told them that she was transgender, her mother did not take the news well, and her father believed that Fallon was simply gay and tried to cure it through conversion therapy, a controversial and discredited practice. Despite pressure from her family and society, Fallon remained steadfast in her belief that she was not a man and needed to transition to be herself. Her decision to transition was not easy, especially without the support of her parents. However, she was determined to pursue her chosen path, becoming the woman she knew she was born to be. After transitioning, Fallon Fox made history as the first openly transgender athlete in MMA. No small feat in a sport known for harsh demands on strength and masculinity. When she stepped into the ring, she faced criticism about whether she had an unfair advantage over her female opponents. Many critics have argued that being born male has given her superior strength. However, the hardest thing for Fallon has been not only the criticism from the public, but also the change in perspective from close friends. Before coming out, she was seen as a normal female athlete. But after her transgender story was revealed, many people began to see her differently, no longer considering her a worthy competitor. Despite the discrimination she faced, Fallon did not give up. She continued to fight both on and off the court, determined to prove that transgender athletes deserve a place in sports and not let prejudice or ignorance stop her. Fallon's story is not only an athlete's journey, but also a symbol of the fight for equality and acceptance in sports. Jennings has become a prominent figure in the transgender experience, especially in understanding what it was like to grow up as a transgender child. She first came out to the public at the age of 6 in an interview with Barbara Walters, where she explicitly stated her gender identity. From an early age, Jazz identified as a girl, despite her body being that of a boy. This was reflected in her interests and actions, such as borrowing her sister's clothes and dancing in high heels. Jazz's sense of identity was so strong that she repeatedly corrected her parents when they accidentally called her a boy, insisting that she was actually a girl. She even held out hope that a magical fairy would come and transform her into a real girl, reflecting her deep desire for consistency between her appearance and her inner identity. Fortunately for Jazz, her family was not only accepting, but also strongly supportive of her transgender identity, helping her develop confidence from a young age and become a representative for the transgender community. As an adult, Jazz decided to share her personal journey with the world. Her life was chronicled on the TLC reality show I Am Jazz, where viewers were able to follow her journey of facing the challenges and triumphs of growing up as a transgender person. Jazz's courage and openness not only made her a television star, but also made her a symbol of understanding and acceptance for transgender people. Outside of television, Jazz has also become a YouTube star and a prominent activist for transgender rights. She was named one of Time magazine's 25 most influential teens of 2014, a testament to her influence. What is truly remarkable about Jazz is her confidence in herself. When asked about how she feels about being judged by others, she responded emphatically, "The only opinion that really matters to me is my own, because I get to define myself." Jennings' story is not only her personal journey, but also a powerful campaign to promote acceptance and understanding of the transgender community and society. She has and continues to inspire millions with her message of self-acceptance and the fight for equality. Carmen Carrera's journey into the public spotlight began when she competed on the 3rd season of RuPaul's Drag Race, where she captivated audiences with her charisma and standout performances. She quickly became a beloved figure in the drag world, known for her confidence and flair. However, after her elimination from the show, Carmen's life took a deeply personal turn as she began her gender transition from male to female. This marked not just a physical transformation, but an emotional and public struggle. Many who had admired her as a drag queen now found it hard to accept her evolving identity. For some, Carmen was still viewed as a man in costume, and the shift to being recognized as a real woman presented painful challenges. Yet through it all, Carmen remained firm in her truth, determined to share her story in hopes of making the transgender experience more visible and more accepted. One of the most defining moments in Carmen's path came when she publicly criticized the controversial she-male game featured on RuPaul's Drag Race, a term she and others found offensive to transgender people. Her outcry sparked strong backlash from parts of the drag community, with some accusing her of being ungrateful for the platform the show had given her. But Carmen stood her ground. Rather than retreat, she used the moment to call for greater respect, understanding, and inclusion, not just within drag, but in all aspects of LGBTQ+ representation. It was a bold move that showed Carmen was not only speaking for herself, but for many others who lacked her platform. Today, Carmen Carrera is far more than a model gracing international runways. She is a powerful advocate for transgender rights and a passionate voice for change. Despite past tensions, she has made it clear that she holds no resentment toward RuPaul's Drag Race, even saying she would greet RuPaul with a warm hug if they ever crossed paths again. Carmen's journey is not just a tale of personal transformation. It is a symbol of relentless courage, the pursuit of authenticity, and a desire to build a society where every person, regardless of gender, feels seen, heard, and respected. Geena Rocero, a celebrated model and fierce advocate, made headlines in 2014 when she came out as transgender during a powerful TED Talk. Until that moment, the world knew her only as a successful model, unaware that she had been assigned male at birth. Her decision to reveal her truth marked a bold turning point in both her personal life and professional career. Geena's journey began at just 5 years old, when she bravely told her mother she was a girl. With the unwavering support of her family, she underwent gender reassignment surgery at the age of 19, an important milestone that helped align her outer appearance with her inner identity. Still, for years, Geena kept her past hidden, even from those closest to her in the fashion world. Coming out publicly was not a decision she took lightly. She feared the media would exploit her story, twisting it into something damaging or sensationalized. She worried that her career and identity as a woman might not survive the scrutiny. But a deeper calling kept urging her forward, a desire to live with honesty and help others find the courage to do the same. So when she stepped onto that TED stage, her voice carried more than just a personal story. It was a global message to the transgender community. You do not have to live in the shadows. The response was immediate and heartening. Geena received overwhelming support from her peers and agents, many of whom had never known her past. Her brave decision did more than raise awareness. It launched her into a new role as a leading voice for inclusion and equality. Today, Geena Rocero stands as a powerful symbol of courage and authenticity. She is not only redefining what it means to be a model, but also challenging the fashion industry to open its doors wider for everyone. Through her activism, she continues to push for a world where all transgender people are seen, heard, and celebrated, exactly as they are. Chanel West Coast, a well-known rapper and actress, has become the unexpected subject of a strange internet rumor, one that claims she is actually Lee Norris, the actor who played Stuart Minkus on the 1990s sitcom Boy Meets World. Stuart Minkus was the quirky, bespectacled kid with a brilliant mind and a memorable look, and thanks to some facial similarities between Lee Norris and Chanel West Coast, the internet did what it does best: ran with the idea. While the resemblance might be amusing at first glance, it is crucial to make one thing clear. Lee Norris and Chanel West Coast are two completely different individuals, each with their own life and career paths. Lee Norris has continued to work steadily in the entertainment industry, appearing in shows like Girl Meets World, The Walking Dead, and the critically acclaimed film Gone Girl. Unfortunately, the viral rumor has, at times, overshadowed his body of work, with many people mistakenly believing he had vanished from Hollywood only to reappear as Chanel West Coast. Meanwhile, Chanel carved out her own unique space in the spotlight. Known for her vibrant presence on MTV's Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, she captured hearts with her bubbly charm. Outside of television, Chanel pursued her passion for music, building a career as a rapper and singer with a style all her own. When asked about the rumor, Chanel responded with grace and empathy. She expressed genuine sympathy for Lee Norris, acknowledging how misleading rumors can damage a person's reputation and career. She also emphasized an important point, that being transgender is not a punchline or a plot twist. It is a deeply personal, often challenging journey that deserves respect and sensitivity. Despite the noise surrounding the false claims, Chanel West Coast has stayed focused on her goals. She continues to grow as an artist and has proven herself to be not only talented, but also compassionate and thoughtful. A true example of strength and self-assurance in the face of public misunderstanding. Hunter Schafer is more than just a model or actress. She is a symbol of strength, individuality, and the power of living one's truth. Rising to fame through her role as Jules in the hit HBO series Euphoria, Hunter brought an authentic, raw portrayal of a transgender teenager to the screen, drawing praise from critics and fans alike. But long before Hollywood came calling, Hunter was already making waves. As a teenager, she became known for her outspoken activism in North Carolina, where she fought against the controversial House Bill 2, a law that restricted bathroom access for transgender individuals. Her passion, courage, and eloquence landed her on Teen Vogue's 21 Under 21 list, solidifying her voice in both the fashion world and the fight for transgender rights. Though she originally entered the public eye as a high-fashion model walking runways for brands like Dior, Miu Miu, and Rick Owens, Hunter never hid her identity or let others define her journey. Instead, she brought her full self into every space she entered, blending art, fashion, and advocacy with unapologetic grace. Her transition, which began during her high school years, was marked by both challenges and triumphs, but it was also deeply personal. Hunter has always emphasized that being transgender is only one part of who she is. Rather than allowing the media to reduce her story to a single label, she uses her platform to show the beauty and complexity of transgender lives, especially for young people searching for a reflection of themselves in the world. Today, Hunter Schafer stands as a creative force, a boundary-breaking talent who merges vulnerability with boldness. Whether she is acting, modeling, or speaking out on human rights, she continues to inspire a generation hungry for honesty and change. With every role she takes and every message she shares, Hunter reminds us that authenticity is not just powerful, it is revolutionary. As we continue this journey through powerful transgender stories, who do you think has made the biggest impact so far? Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If this video moved you or made you see things in a new light, help us spread the message of love, courage, and acceptance. Give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop the number 2 in the comments so we know you're part of this journey with us. Until next time, stay kind, stay true, and we'll see you in the next video.